Today, I want to share with us an exposition on the man Barabas. An exposition on the man Barabas. Matthew chapter 27. I'm going to summarize it, but I'm going to read from, you can read from 15 to 26. Let me just read selected verses. He said, and at the feast, the governor was accustomed to releasing to the multitude one prisoner whom they wish. And they had then a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. Pilate said to them, whom do you want me to release to you? Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ? They said, Barabbas. They said, Barabbas. Now, before this happened, Jesus was tried. Jesus Christ, he had been tried by Herod, he has been tried by Pilate. So both Herod and Pilate, they could not, fault Jesus. They could not fault Jesus. So, but they don't even know why they are holding Jesus captive. They don't know why Jesus was going to face the crucifixion. Now, the crucifixion is a terrible way of killing somebody. It's such a bad way that it has been nullified by human rights. The crucifixion is no longer a permitted way of killing people. It doesn't matter the offense the person commits. The crucifixion is it is such a terrible way of killing somebody that it has been seen as utter wickedness to administer the crucifixion to anybody. In fact, in those days, no Roman citizen can be crucified. Crucifixion was only meant for slaves. It was only slave who could be crucified. So a real Roman citizen, it doesn't matter the offense they commit, that can be crucified. Now, I want us to just understand that background of the crucifixion. It is such a terrible means, a terrible way of killing somebody. The pain anybody that is being crucified goes through is so bad. It is so bad. It is so bad. It is a horrible way of killing somebody. Now, let me give you other ways that are as bad as the crucifixion that were um, other ways that were cancelled, that were similar to the crucifixion or in addition to the crucifixion. Now, there was a way people were killed that was banned. Bamboo tree used to grow like up to 3 centimeters a day. The bamboo tree can grow like 3 centimeters a day. So there is a way they deal with people. They will go and sit them down on an emerging bamboo tree that is sprouting from the ground. They will sit the person down, tie the person down. They will make sure that the anus of the person is pointed straight. The bamboo that is sprouting straight on the anus of the person. So they will tie the person down. So every day the bamboo tree will move into the person from the anus 3 centimeters. The person will be in a great agony, great pain. It is such a terrible means. The person will be in anguish. The person will be in great agony until the bamboo will go through the person's belly and come out from the person's head. So the person will die slowly and will die painfully. Now, it is a similar ways of killing that was also cancelled. It is similar to the crucifixion. So the crucifixion is terrible, is very terrible. It is very terrible. In fact, no Roman citizen is allowed. It is terrible. There is another way that they kill people that is similar to the the crucifixion. They call it the flaying. Now, flaying, what they do in flaying is that They will catch when they want to flay any human being. They will, while the person is alive, the person has to be alive. They will skin the person while he's alive. They will remove all the skin of the person. Now the person's body will only be exposed, the meat of the person, the flesh, not the skin. The skin will be removed carefully. So the person will be alive, they will be peeling the skin out of the person. You can imagine the pain, you can imagine the agony. And after they have peeled all the skin from the head to the toe, the person will be in great anguish. Now, flaying does not allow the person to die immediately because no vital organ is touched. But the person will die slowly, the person will die in great anguish. So it has also been counseled together with the crucifixion because it is a terrible way of administering death. It is that bad. There are other ways too that were also cancelled that were similar to the crucifixion. However, I just mentioned this few so that you understand how bad, how evil the crucifixion is. You may not understand. It has been banned. It doesn't matter. It does not matter the offense. Nobody, nobody is allowed to be crucified. Nobody is allowed to be flayed in the world today because of how gruesome, how painful it is. Now, Pilate knew that what they want Jesus to pass through, he is innocent of it. So you can only crucify somebody that is murderous, somebody that is rebellious, somebody that has committed the worst sin, treason, somebody that has committed the worst, somebody that has betrayed the entire nation, not just an individual. That you don't just crucify somebody that they are not, if they could not even find guilty. So if you cannot find somebody guilty, crucifixion is not an option. There are other things that you can do to that person, but not crucifixion. Yeah, you can find the person, you can give the person prison sentence, imprison the person for a while and let the person go. There are so many other things that can be done to somebody that could not be found guilty. The first court, in the court of Herod and before Pilate, they could not find him guilty. Even though he had no lawyer, they still couldn't find him guilty. He said crucifixion is not the punishment meant for somebody that couldn't be found guilty. So Pilate was thinking about a way out. So what will I do so that I can set Jesus free? I don't want him to be crucified. Pilate didn't want him. So to the Pilate, it was a brilliant plan. There was already somebody that has been found guilty. They have already found him guilty. There is no appeal. They have already found him guilty. He was guilty. His punishment was crucifixion. Now, he was guilty of murder. He was guilty of being a rebel. He was a notorious prisoner. He was a rebel. He was a murderer. He takes things from people forcefully and kills people. He has killed so many people. So he deserved to die. So when they were judging his matter, he was guilty. He could not even plead innocent because he was guilty. There were dead bodies to prove his guilt. There was dead bodies to prove his guilt. He was guilty. Barabas. You know? So, and he was notorious. When they got him arrested, everybody heard the story. The news spread. Everybody in the whole city, everybody knew about Barabas. People were excited when he was arrested. People were excited. They were happy that at least now they can sleep safely in the night. They are happy that he will not steal from them anymore. That the society is safer with him uh, being arrested. Everybody, they were excited. They were happy. The news spread. People could do business at night. People could do business during those time of the day that they couldn't. And families that have lost people to Barbas, to the murders, Barabas. They were excited at justice that, oh, thank God, we now have justice. At least the man who killed my family member or who stole or who did this has been arrested by the government. So they were happy. Everybody were happy. People cheered his arrest. People cheered when he was told that he will be crucified. Now, the crucifixion is not, it is something that is prepared. You have to arrange it. It is not just before you, when you declare somebody that he has been crucified, you need to now start preparing all the things needed for the person to go through all the elements, all the process, all the suffering, all the hardship, and all the punishment. It is not, it is a punishment that is intentionally gradual, delayed, and prepared. So they have tools they use to crucify people. So you don't just start crucifying people. So Barabbas has been declared. So they have already arranged the crucifixion of Barabbas. The cross he will carry, the everything, the nails that will be used, the cane that they will flog him. They have appointed the people that will flog him. So all the soldiers that will flog him, they have already told them, today in your duty, part of your duty, you will flog Barabbas, 12, 30 strokes of cane. You will do this to Barabbas. You will bring the nail, you will nail him, you will bring they've already assigned duties to different people. And they have already arranged that they are going to take him through the street. Remember that it was Barabbas that was supposed to be crucified. So everybody knew about the crucifixion of Barabbas. People were excited. Everybody wanted to see Barabbas being crucified. So Pilate said, "Okay, let me say this in the sense of being, he wants to save Jesus. He doesn't want Jesus to pass through the crucifixion over offense that he was not clearly guilty. Herod could not find him guilty. He could not find him guilty. So he said, okay, it is my custom to release you, all right, during the Passover, because it coincided with the Passover. So Pilate thought that he was actually wise, that his wisdom, he wanted to acquit Jesus because the people were calling for the crucifixion of Jesus, and he wanted to acquit Jesus. So he said to them, all right, I'm going to bring somebody. It is my custom to release somebody. So he was doing it having Jesus in mind to release Jesus. All right. So he brought out Barabbas. Already, Barabbas, everybody hated Barabbas. Everybody. They have seen the joy in the society when Barabbas was arrested. So he wanted to take advantage of it. And so he said to them, uh, you have to choose between Jesus and Barabbas. Of course, Barabas was a notorious robber. Everybody knew that he was clearly guilty. Everybody knew that Jesus was not really guilty, was not guilty. He couldn't be found guilty during the first section, the court with Herod. He couldn't be found guilty in the presence of Pilate. So it was evident that there was no accusation. He did not kill anybody. Jesus did not kill anybody. Nobody came to complain that Jesus stole anything from them or Jesus impregnated their daughter or anything bad. There was nothing. So Pilate thought that, oh, they would choose Jesus definitely. He thought because he would choose Jesus. Everybody that is normal, everybody that is reasonable would choose Jesus. But he was surprised when they all cried out, not this man, but Barabbas. They said, not Jesus, but Barabas. Now, it meant that all the punishment that Barabbas, the crucifixion that was meant for Barabbas, I want you to take note, the crucifixion was meant for Barabbas. Jesus was going to face it. And Barabbas was going to enter the society as an innocent man, acquitted of murder, acquitted of robbery, acquitted of every other offenses that he may have faced. Let me tell you something about Barabbas. When Barabas goes into the society, do you know that there is no company that he is qualified to work for that would disqualify him because he was a robber? No. The reason is because he was judged and acquitted. So nobody can legally deny him anything that would have been his had he not committed any offense. In fact, Barabbas went into the society as an innocent man. All his past were cleared because the punishment that was meant for Barabbas, Jesus Christ, it was laid upon Jesus. It was the punishment that was meant for Barabbas. So every time Barabbas sees Jesus being shamed on the street, when Barabbas sees Jesus, when they put the crown of thorns on his head, when Barabbas sees Jesus hanging on the cross, when Barabbas sees the nail on the hands and the feet of Jesus, and when Barabbas sees the side of Jesus being pierced by the soldiers, when Barabbas sees that Jesus was flogged, anytime he sees this, he will say, that would have been me. That would have been me. That would have been me. So Jesus took the chastisement that was meant for Barabbas, the punishment that was meant for Barabbas, the the pain that was meant for Barabbas, he carried it. Now Barabbas represents humanity. He represents you and I. That is who Barabbas represents. He represents us. He represents everybody all over the world. Our sin, Barabbas represent us. So when Jesus surrendered himself to be crucified, he took over he took over our place. He exchanged place for. So Barabbas went back into the society as an innocent man, and Jesus went through the cross as a guilty man. So there was an exchange of place. Barabbas that had been condemned suddenly was free, suddenly was declared innocent, suddenly was released to the society as a free man. Jesus, who was innocent, suddenly became the guilty. Bible says he was made sin who knew no sin, so that we who committed that sin can be made the righteousness of God. Not just made righteous, but made the righteousness of God. So Jesus took our place to satisfy the requirement for divine justice. Just like he took the place of Barabbas to fulfill the requirement of justice. So nobody can meet Barabbas on the street and say to Barabbas, you did not suffer for the sin you committed. He suffered for it actually because another person took his place and suffered for him. So Jesus Christ was chastised for our peace. We now have good relationship with God. Just like Barabbas now had good relationship with the society. As he went back to the society, nobody can fault him. We now have good relationship with God. But Jesus was wounded for the transgression of Barabbas. He was bruised for his iniquity. So all the wound arranged, all the punishment arranged for Barabbas was laid on Jesus. That is exactly what God did. That is exactly what Christ did for you and I. The crucifixion that is meant for us, Christ went through it. So that we can be free, so that we can be saved. So that we can be saved. This is why I will always be grateful to God. You see, this is why I will always be grateful to God. It means that Even if I have made a mistake in my life, Christ took my place. Christ, the punishment meant for me was laid upon Christ. Today, I want us to appreciate God. I want you to just thank God. You can type on the group, you can type and tell, say, God, I am grateful for taking my place. Just open your mouth and pray and thank the Lord.